ganging up on me.
Will, is there any room? I said, no, I don't see a room yet.
Or heading
This
fast
bus
and down
thing,
if
which I
you
was
want
on
to
calls.
go.
No way I would've worked out anything.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Hello.
I hope I didn't miss open
No
weekend.
kids today.
My
I
daughter's
guess I
going to
am
SK, so.
on the north side of town today, and I was driving up north to go to, auxiliary.
Oh, probably.
Yeah. Looks like somebody's having a bad day.
Look at you.
We had to run up to Orient, we had to join the Orient Auxiliary.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, the guy was kind of mad at his sister that was on the auxiliary. He wouldn't give the key to the building, so we had to have our meeting outside.
Oh, man. You're a runner?
I'm a runner.
You don't have to, I can take a
That was
runner.
interesting.
Sit.
It's been a different kind of day.
Yeah, it's Monday.
I don't sit still. Lazy Monday.
Yeah, and the day after the time change.
Yeah.
I don't like the time change. I looked out the door and I thought, I haven't missed the meeting. It's still.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. How crazy.
They're smart in Arizona and Hawaii.
Don't accept that.
They don't do it.
I think they should move it a half an hour and leave it year round.
Do something.
Yeah, then you get a half hour in the morning, half hour in the evening every day, year round.
I'd be just happy if they just leave it alone. And it takes me so long to get over that.
Doesn't bother me, cause when the crop's ready, you go get it.
The joke in Arizona is that only white men think you take foot off a blanket, sew another in the blanket, make a longer blanket.
Right, exactly. That's
Yeah.
a fact.
Kind of agree.
Shayla, is there any reason in particular the Dollar General one isn't on here?
Did I miss that?
And everybody else that looked at it for Will.
Yes, I missed that. Can we add
Good
that?
job,
on?
Will.
What, you?
Good job.
I guess they'd be H.
We should add Dollar General to our liquor licenses.
Okay, all right.
I saw the check in there.
Yeah.
I never looked at the
I
list.
didn't do this part yet.
So let's begin with a prayer, Pastor Will. Thank you.
Let's pray. Father, thank you for your grace, your mercy. Thank you for the gift of salvation. Thank you for the gift of this day. Father, thank you for the pleasant weather that we've had. And Father, I thank you for the moisture that we have had. Father, I pray that you would be with everyone that is out harvesting. Father, I pray that it would be a safe and productive harvest. Father, I lift up the city government. I lift up the city employees and the department heads. Father, I pray that you would keep them safe as they go about their jobs. Father, I pray that, Father, that your will would be done in all of the departments. Father, that you would continue to keep them safe as we go into winter and all the things that can happen in winter. Father, we know that you are in control of the weather and all of that. But Father, we thank you for the moisture that you have provided, that you will provide. And Father, as we gather here tonight, as the city council gathers, Father, I pray that you would give each of the members wisdom as they discharge their duties. Father, you tell us that if we pray for wisdom and we ask in faith that you will give it. And Father, I ask in faith that you would give wisdom. May all that is done here tonight glorify your Son, and in his name I pray, amen.
Amen. Thank you very much. Call the meeting to order. Begin with the pledge. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
I would move to approve the agenda as amended with H Dollar General under the 11 item.
I'll second.
Discussion. Have a motion on the table to approve the agenda in a second. No discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Motion carries. On pages 1 through 4, you'll find the minutes of our previous meeting. Starting on page 1 is the October 16th meeting, our regular meeting. And then on October 26th was the, went through the budget.
I'll make a motion, we approve the minutes.
I'll second.
Discussion. Hearing none, have a motion to approve the minutes. All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed, the same. Motion carries. All right. Public input. Here, you want to go ahead? Go ahead.
So I didn't get it on the agenda because I didn't really think about it, but something you might want to think about is a lot of people are asking me about these Connex boxes, and I don't think we really have anything in writing as far as they need a building permit about for them, or if we're okay with them. You know, they're movable. Something for everybody to ponder. I think you're gonna start seeing more and more of them in town, and
Are those portable storage boxes?
yep.
Like the ones that drop off,
Yep.
whatever?
Yep, so, I've had a lot of people come in, ask about building permits and stuff, and the way I see it, I don't know if, you can drop a shed too, and we do a building permit on that,
Right.
but anyway, so.
Is it
Well-
just temporary people that are moving or just
No, there's a lot of them that are getting set around town.
For storage.
for storage,
Just to
like
store.
permanent?
And I guess that's where I would have it. If it's something in there where you're just temporarily putting something in there to store an item versus that of an extended period,
Yeah,
like it's.
maybe we need to do like a permanent deal, but I wanted to bring it to everybody's attention, so I don't know if you do,
Is it the zoning committee that looks at? Maybe we
Yeah.
could have the zoning committee look into what other cities are doing as far as the portable metal connexes, cause they're called portable, but
Well, in the same token that one of the sheds you get from lumberyard is portable.
that's
Yeah.
kinda like, until
Right.
you fix it to the earth,
right.
If you're gonna require a building permit for those, I think you gotta have
Yeah.
for the shipping containers.
Right.
Yeah, and the ones from the lumberyard aren't very portable. I mean, the specialized equipment, just like the connexes are
and
kind of
that's,
specialized
I
equipment.
didn't know where we stood on that, and if we need to reword that, or how we go about that, so just something, like you said, zoning committee or something, you guys.
Probably more of a time deal if you're gonna have it more than 60, 90 days.
But.
You know,
again,
if they're putting those steel ones down, they're gonna be there
Yeah.
Right.
till they move,
Right.
die, or leave.
So like that, it'd be great to get that in writing,
Yeah,
Yep,
good
So-
I
point.
agree.
And if
Thank you for that.
if we are gonna require 'em, maybe give people that have them,
A heads up.
don't have the permits, give them some sort of grace period to come get the permits retroactively without penalizing anybody. If we're gonna now decide to enforce that,
correct,
give everybody that has them a grace period to come get permits.
And then, I don't know, do you still do a building permit on whatever they paid for it, that's,
Do they get permits or they get governed
Zones
in if they're
only.
already set? How's that work?
basically, all the ones that I know of so far have been within the last 2 or 3 months. But, I mean, I've been asked in the last couple of weeks where I know there's more possibly going.
Right.
Cowboy. There's one next to Cowboy. Yeah.
Just, yeah, I mean,
Yeah, we gotta get something in
Yeah.
writing
I
on
mean,
that.
if you wanna,
Okay.
something to think about.
Yeah.
All right, thanks,
Thanks,
Dustin.
Thank you.
Dustin. Okay, We have Mike Willets from MMUA here with regard to maybe a little bit of insight with the service agreement we have them. He is the Director of Training and Safety with them. So welcome. Thank you for making the trip.
Thanks for the
I know
invite.
it's not somewhere you go that's along the way, so
Well, we do safety all over, so
Yeah, okay.
welcome the time to come and talk with you tonight. Anyway, I'm here to explain whatever you'd like to hear explained and maybe touch on some things that we do for you for safety here in the community. You know, right now, you have a contract with 1 day a month where we come into your community and work with your staff. Develop and plan and conduct monthly safety training is one of the things that we do, you know, when we come in. Travis Dennison is the safety coordinator that takes care of South Dakota. He has about 15 different accounts that we meet with here in South Dakota. Plan and develop and conduct those monthly trainings, implement a standard record-keeping system. What's unique about the record-keeping system that we do is that it's the same everywhere. It's nothing magical, but it's the same if it's in Rochester, Minnesota, or if it's here, if it's in Pierre, if it's in Brookings or Watertown or any other communities that we work with. Perform and facility and worksite audits. That's kind of the secret sauce about MMUA is, you know, we don't just come in and do safety training for you. We actually work with your staff out in the field, pick up a shovel if we need to, so on, and make sure that things are getting done properly on site, so on. I mean, it's one of the things that makes us quite different than the rest. The whole thing is taking safety to the higher level, you know, and keeping it there. One of those things is meeting on a monthly basis and keeping that consistent. Always, you know, kind of smilingly say, we're that friendly kick in the rear end that keeps things going. You know, it's really developing safety culture is what we do. You know, we stay on top of that. You know, a safety program typically, or many times, I'm not gonna say typically, becomes kind of flavor of the day. You know, not too many years ago, we had a fatality here in the community. You know, I was here to help you right away to work on that. We didn't have a contract at that time. We had worked with you before and so on, but, you know, we come here and help you at any time that you need help. Take care of those hassles and confusion, mainly with standards and so on. We stay on top of the record keeping, you know, and the rules and regulations and making sure that people are following those as much as we can. But on top of the safety culture is the big piece that we do. You know, the number one thing that we're here is to, like I was mentioning before, on the safety culture, to save lives and keep that on the forefront. Not only working for the city on the day-to-day, but hopefully when the folks go home and they're working on the roofs or tree trimming or whatever they're doing at home, that we make you stop and think of, maybe I shouldn't get on that chair and change that light bulb, or whatever it would be. The silly thing we sometimes do when we're home is hopefully we've developed a niche culture where you think about that and you grab that ladder or whatever. No, not only at work here, but at home also. I think we're pretty effective by doing that. You know, just a little bit about MMUA and Travis. You know, another unique thing is, myself included, is that we all come from city government. You know, most of our people have either been, you know, my background is electrical. I've been a utility manager, been with MMUA, developing the safety program for 30 years. I know city councils, I know the people we work with and so on in every community. That's what we do, is work with cities. So, you know, same thing with Travis. Travis has been you know, he worked for Brookings. He's been in the industry for 30 years in that neighborhood. you know, and he knows city government and the employees that he's working with here and everywhere else that he goes to. Same with, so we've got 25 safety staff from fire departments to wastewater, water, to EMS, to electric, and every facet that you can possibly think of. That's what we do, is work with city government. And so we know you folks pretty well. Other than that, I'll open it up to questions. I'd like to encourage you to keep the one day that you have. I don't know if that's a question at this point, but I want to make sure you keep that. And the biggest reason is if we go to every other month or something less than that, we hurt of where we've came from, of developing that culture and stuff. And I'd really hate for that to go backwards. If we go to every other month, it becomes mostly training and so on. And I want to make sure that we're getting outside, really, because training's training, getting out in the field with the folks is the most important thing. So I want to be able to get that training done and get out in the trenches and such with your staff too. So,
Mike, how long have we been with you as far as?
well, you've been with us twice.
Twice?
Many years ago. You guys might have to help me out with the dates.
Before my time.
Yeah,
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 I think, I can remember.
probably about 25 years. We started the safety program in here in South Dakota, and Miller was one of those communities that came on early on. Then there was a feeling that it could be done in-house, so it was postponed at that time. We still came here on technical electrical training, but we didn't do the safety management thing. We had the incident, the unfortunate incident a few years back. You brought us back on at that time. Like I mentioned, at that time, we didn't have a contract with you at that point, but I did. I was here the next day helping you guys through that, without a contract, because ultimately, we care no matter what. MMUA, we're a nonprofit state association. Like I said, we're built on folks like you guys, so we care no matter what.
Yeah, I think-
And then it's been probably 5, 6 years now, maybe longer. The older you get, the harder that time is to remember, but it's probably been around 5 years maybe.
17 probably.
Okay,
End of 16, early 17.
okay.
I do know this. I was down one time, and come down to see Dustin. I think one of your representatives were you guys actually were in the office. You came back because so I could meet the gentleman, but didn't you it was a hands-on situation. Roger, yeah. So
Oh,
that was,
the apprenticeship trainer.
yeah.
Yep.
So that was, I was impressed with that. I mean, it was more than just the classroom. It was taken out, like you said, in the field and things like that, so.
Right.
Anybody have any questions? Because we do have before us a service agreement with MMUA that, with regard to, that's on pages 9 through 12.
All of the utility managers are here. Is there any extra training that you feel as though the city needs that's not being accomplished right now?
Well, like the MSHA is required, but,
Right.
We were gonna use that through our insurance.
Right.
They were gonna,
Yep.
that's the main one I need.
And that's one I've heard of.
Well, the water and sewer stuff, usually comes through the state.
But we're not lacking anywhere where we would need to go to the next tier that they offer or anything. We're good with where we're at. Yep. I think, because we're like a combination of tier 2 and tier 3, aren't we? Because I think
Yeah, you're
We
tier
get-
2, 1 day.
yep, and then, but it also, I know the electrical department gets a lot of extra training that's not necessarily listed in tier 2.
That's not in that, yeah.
Yep, that's extra, so,
Yep.
okay.
Our training has to be okay through the state.
I,
State contracts with sewer and water on the training for that.
I'd make a motion that we, accept the service agreement as written with MMUA.
I'll second that.
Okay, I have a motion and a second with regard to accept the service agreement with MMUA. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion has it.
Thank you.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you for coming.
You betcha.
Thank you.
All right, we'll move on, but within the idea, at 7:30, we'll have a public hearing with regard to a liquor transfer. Department heads, you have on pages 5 through 8, anything? Ron?
Yeah.
Come,
Well, I was wondering if I sent one to
no.
Cindy, because I looked on my phone and I had him, like, I hope I didn't send it to me, thinking I sent it
Yeah.
to Cindy. so-
Yeah.
Is that light on?
And,
Yeah.
you know, I have here down here that Dan went to Tulare, which I appreciate. Just maybe a little bit of clarification or insight with regard to that.
They had a bunch of sweeping they needed done. They could not get anybody to do it. I said, well, if we can, we will. And we had the shot of rain. He had everything pretty much caught up as far as the sweeping
Thanks, Mike.
in time. Yep.
Safe trip
Thank you.
home.
And the time was right, so he made a call, went over there, swept and come home. And then we did bill him for use of the broom and stuff.
So we took our equipment over there.
Yeah, just
Okay.
the sweeper.
Just the sweeper.
And then the one day, they went and got him and brought him back.
Okay.
One of the city guys. I was
Yeah.
actually on vacation when that happened, so.
All right. Well,
I think it was Craig Price, so.
Okay.
And I talked to him and we billed according to that time too,
Right, well, I applaud the decision. I think it's beneficial if any communities can work together for a common cause, because you just don't know when it's our turn.
Right,
Yeah.
right. And that's kind of what I told the guy. I says, we're busy and we can't get to it. We can't. We'll just do what we can. And he goes, we just have tried to get other people to come and it couldn't, it just wasn't happening, so.
Okay,
We went to Harold before too with a sewer problem.
okay, good.
Helped St. Lawrence a few times, and no.
Harold
Of course,
and
we're
St.
with the county. We help
Okay.
the county, they help us back.
Yeah, well, good,
Gotta look out for each other.
yeah.
Right, yep,
All right. Thank you, Ron.
yep.
I think Pierre's been here and helped the electric department.
We've been down Springs and helped them even since I've been down.
Okay,
Most of the time, you don't want my help.
that's why they're waiting for you're out of town so they can call, when they call over?
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else with any of the questions with regard to the department head? Did a good job as far as explaining some of the things that they've been working at.
I'm gonna add something real quick. Down at the park, that old I don't know what you call it, lean-to or whatever, on the north side of the old warming house. It looks terrible. So I talked to Dan, and, cause this is what this stuff is what he does, and we're gonna try to make a bigger area so we can fit a couple lawnmowers in there. There's a gas tank there, that way we can enclose it better, and it'll look better. Cause what we got there, that's always been an eyesore for me. So anyway, I suppose we need to do a building permit for it or whatever. Well,
Have all your boxes checked too.
at one time, we never used to, we just did it, but, so we'll need to apply. We may poke a couple holes before the frost comes in, before the next meeting for the building permit. But as long as the posts are there, we don't have to worry about frost.
Right.
We can always build it after the frost comes in. But it would, like you say, it'd make the mowers more secure, and it would also, hoping to have enough room to put at least another one there for the winter. And then, you know what it's like when you squeeze everything together, they get banged up or whatever. And, be a little more user-friendly in the summer if guys down there mowing and a rain comes, they can park two mowers in if they're going, we've had that before. I was underneath an H farm all when it was hailing one time, so
That's not a good deal.
there's not a lot of place to hide under one of them.
No. I see the replacing the flooring for the gazebo, the
Yep.
runners are okay, I mean.
The flooring is the main thing. Last year, Joe Zeller and I walked around, we found a couple bad ones. And you know, he says, it's not gonna be long. Well, we went down there and I don't remember who noticed it, if it was Craig or Dan or whatever. And then I just had Dan go down there and he went and just got all the lumber we need, so. He thought a guy could do it in a day and a half or something like that, tearing everything up and replacing. He thought everything below it looked good, but once you take everything apart, we may have to do more. We'll have to just see.
All right, so you haven't started on that?
No.
So, okay.
We just got all the lumber, so we can do it when the sweeping is our biggest thing right now with the leaves and stuff. So,
Okay.
and I haven't been around town a lot this last week, I'll be honest with you, so.
Okay,
But as soon as that's done and we got the other pre-winter stuff done, then we'll go down there and do that.
sounds good. All right, thank you, Ron. Anything else for Ron or any other department heads? Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Okay, moving on, East Fourth Street project. On page 13, you'll see the request from T.L. Olson for $51,184.52.
Can I just back up one quick?
Yes,
Do we have any forward concerns with that line in the industrial park? Or was they able to get it all cleaned out? Okay.
with
That's all I had.
with the mud and stuff?
From one place to another.
Right. And is that part of the drainage problem? Is it, no? Okay.
All right, thank you for asking though, yeah. So on page 13, you'll see the pay request for, get my page number. Yellowson. And that's the final payment, I believe, with regard to that project, that.
Make a motion that we pay the pay request for $51,184.52.
Have a motion on the table?
I'll second.
Motion and a second to pay T.L. Olson a pay request for $51,184.52. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Motion carries. Okay, we should get to, on the page 14, you'll see the change order. On the top, if you look at the description for the change order, existing geotextile fabric was found under the existing road and was removed. Some of this stuff is extra. The contractor installed a meter pit furnished by the owner. Various water main items were adjusted based on insulation. The existing sprinkler system will need to be relocated. A clean out should be added to the south drain tile for access, and the quantities are adjusted to what has been installed to date, and the final completion date is extended to complete the final paperwork. So basically, the change order number 1 would add an increase of $10,510.52.
82 cents.
82 cents, would I say 52 cents? Thank you for the correction.
Yep.
If that's the only one I make tonight, I am doing well.
Make a motion that we accept the change order. We basically accepted it on the last
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
application because it's already it's in the list there, so.
I'll second.
Okay, I have a motion on the table and a second to accept the change order by T.L. Olson. All in favor, say aye.
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 Oppose the same. Motion carries. All right, if you look on page 15 through 17, and again, we have about 5 minutes before the public hearing. We have the total invoice of $51,010. On phase 3 invoice, you can see a total of $21,210. In phase 4 invoice on $29,800. So I'll entertain 2 separate motions with regard to that. The first one will be the phase 3 invoices for a total of $21,210.
I'll make a motion to approve that.
Second.
Discussion? Have a motion on the table to pay Phase 3 invoice of a total of $21,210. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Oppose the same? Motion carries. The next part from SPN is a Phase 4 invoice for $29,800. And that is found on, on page 17, I think it is.
Make a motion to approve Phase 4 invoices for $29,800.
I'll second.
Discussion. Hearing none, have a motion on the table for Phase 4 invoices for $29,800. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Oppose the same. Motion carries. Okay, had a building permit from Catherine Johnson.
Anderson,
Anderson, number 2.
I'm on it.
I know, I appreciate that, I really do. To construct a fence. And it has been signed off on the department heads. There's a description of the fence on a drawing. Any concerns, Dustin?
Puts it on her own land, that area of the world in Miller is tough for me to, tough for me to pinpoint everything in that area, so I'm assuming she'll get, make sure she's on her property.
So that's, kind of in contingent of making sure that she is on there.
She's drawn it on her land. so
Yes.
yeah.
Okay,
It's tough, that's a tough area.
okay.
So does that need to be contingent on a survey then?
Well,
Is it,
she's got it drew on her land, so I mean, I guess when we get there.
So we could make a motion to approve it pending,
So you don't require a survey for
Yeah,
every.
no.
right. Just pending,
Usually I go and I try to help out, but I've already ran into troubles in that area just because of how it lays out with what are we gonna say?
Where the pins are at, or if they're even still there.
borders.
Section line.
Section line.
Section line is right there.
It's that house where he still lives, isn't it?
I just go west of the hospital and the section line is on that road right there, that runs into parts of the Third Avenue, West Third Avenue? Yep, and most time, I have the center and then I have right-of-ways. It's, by the time I start wheeling back and everything, that section line, from my knowledge, is in the gutter apron. Our fourth rail. So, yeah, it gets tough in there.
Well,
So,
what we can do is we can entertain a motion to approve the building permit with the understanding it is on the property line.
I'll make that motion, provided it's in the property and it's drawn as, or it's built as drawn.
Okay,
Because you said it's as drawn is good. Okay.
all right. Have a motion on the table with regard to the building permit before us?
Second that.
Okay, second, discussion. Hearing none, the motion was to approve the building permit as long as it's on the with the understanding it's on the property line and in compliance with how it is drawn on the request. All in favor, say aye.
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 Oppose the same. Motion carries. Okay, at this. Right on time. How about that? Yes, you may. At 7:30, we have a request for a municipal transfer. Transfer from Kurt Telkamp to A. Canham LLC, package off sale. Looks like I have everything the monetary amount has been paid, looks like. Now, was this an on sale before, or was just an, it's just an off sale? Okay, all right,
So,
Yeah, both, one time.
so it's not a drinking establishment, it's where they're gonna sell. That's it.
okay, and this is going to be located,
In that Wilbur building,
okay, at, 809 North Broadway Avenue,
across from Papa Pack.
okay?
Oh, okay.
In my backyard.
Hey, lucky you.
Won't have to go far
Yeah.
when you have have a bad day.
Well, looks like all the paperwork's
Yeah,
in
there's one
order, right?
across the
It
street to the
is, yes.
south.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion, we approve the liquor license from Kurt Telkamp to A Canum LLC.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. We have a motion and a second on the table to transfer the liquor license from Turk Telkamp to A Canum LLC, package off sale. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Motion carries. Thank you. Okay, electric department service restore.
I thought that was a service restore.
Okay. So, I guess to back this up. So this time about last year, I asked to get one of these because I had money left in my budget. And, the thing did not show up until probably 4 months after I ordered it. It showed up about a half an hour after it took us the whole morning to restore a house. Actually, didn't restore the house. We had to lay the wire on top of the snow and figure out what transformer to get to. And there was 3-4 of us out there. And so imagine how I was after it showed up after I got all that done. But since we have had the one that we have, it takes us about a half an hour to install this thing. We've used it about 8 times this year. The problems that we have that we typically find usually are where contractors come through. There was some that we don't know why it happened. I guess what I'm asking is I'm asking to get another one of these, but I'm asking to order it now. But then it's actually for next year's budget because I know how long they take. And I guess I'm asking to get another one before people figure out what these things are and they cost more. They never go bad. This thing will outlast my lifetime. They're just safe. About a half an hour, you can usually, if we got two of the wires out of the 3, everything is right there. You're not laying stuff out. 2 guys can do it. It just gets power up and going. So I guess I'm asking if I can buy one of these for next year's budget, because that's how long it takes to get everything anymore. Trying to be a little proactive on this.
So we'd pay for it next year when it got here?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep. So that's kind of why I put this on there, because it does take so long. My worry is depending on how much moisture we have, you get into the winter months, and let's say we have 0, which would be awesome. That usually doesn't happen. Houses that have something go wrong, but we have it where we can't dig, like that wire that we put on the ground. I mean, it was there for 3-4 months until we could dig. And so I'm just thinking another one of these would be beneficial to have in the corner. It's just, it makes a lot less work. It doesn't use any gasoline. It doesn't make noise. You know, it's
a lot safer than have wires running on the ground.
Right. There was one of them when we first got it. The first one that got hooked up was Patty's over here. I mean, it was a Saturday. We had her up and going, and so she could still serve that night. So I mean, it was great. We kept the business going, and
Less overtime too, I mean.
oh yeah, on that particular deal there, we would have had to string wire across the alley. We would have had to put some it in pipe. there again, you gotta basically drill a hole in the basement, and there's a lot of messing around, a lot of extra pieces, and then that was gonna be getting drove over, we would've had it went and get gravel and,
Build a ramp for it and.
yeah, yep, and then,
More time than not, just cause I've been around these. You don't know you have an issue at a house until you get off of work and you get home.
Right, and it's
And then all of a
45
sudden-
degrees in your house.
Well, then we're on overtime hours, so.
Right.
and the particular person, the reason it took us the next morning, they actually were out that night. They didn't need to go anywhere the next day, so they didn't really care that they didn't have any hot water. But typically, for this thing, if you have electric stove, if you have electric heat, and most people have electric water heater, you need that other phase. So, these things are selling, like people are starting to figure out about them, and there's a lot more of them that are getting sold, so.
So, you know, visiting with you a little bit about this, so you probably, did you utilize as much you thought you would, or did you find
yeah.
more of a use than you anticipated?
It just, well,
You knew you needed it.
well, yeah, you don't know, I mean,
Yeah.
if if you put wires in the ground and nothing ever went wrong, I wouldn't be here working for anybody, because that's just, you know, that's, you don't know when things are gonna break. But yeah, we've had 9 or 10 faults this year.
Okay.
And really, I would say it was a fairly calm, construction season. But some of that stuff was from last year, some of the stuff was from a year and a half ago. There was a couple of them, I don't know when they got crossed, but I know they got crossed. And people just aren't careful when they're digging around wires. One little nick will eventually show up, eventually. And if anybody wants to see them, I got lots of trophies in my office, you can come look at them.
So how would we do this if it was on next year? We just add it into the budget for next year for
I
your,
think he already has it.
you already added in there?
Yeah, I have it in there, but I
Okay.
just wanted to.
Get it going now so you have
Yeah,
it for
they're,
next year.
like, if anybody's been in front of the armory, and I apologize, but I ordered them poles, like in April last year. I'm hoping they show up this week. It's dark in front of the armory right now, and that's how long this stuff is taking. So,
Well, I would make a motion that we approve the purchase of this restorer.
Okay,
I'll second it.
okay, have a motion on the table to, go ahead and purchase, Service Restorer. Any discussion? Okay, hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Pose the same. Motion carries. Okay, you mentioned this before as far as the snowplow, right?
yep, so obviously I had money left over this year. They have one. This is one of the tools that I feel that would be beneficial for our department and also for the city. Basically, when we drive around, especially if we get lots of snow or whatever, I mean, we're checking to make sure, drifts and stuff aren't getting pushed up in front of transformers, and stuff like that, and clearing it out. I mean, there's only so much snow you can shove, and then you're eventually gonna shove them off the pad. But when we're driving around checking stuff, this would be beneficial for us if we need to change a transformer or anything in an alley, instead of going and get some of Ron's equipment or getting extra people or whatever. We can kind of bust down the alley if we need to, if it hasn't been gone through. And you try to make our own path and utilize some of the equipment that we have already. And then also, when we are going around, just beneficial even for Ron's department or anything, if a car has been parked and we went around it with his equipment and we see that now that person's gone to work. We had Terry's on his pickup this year. It's just so easy to throw it down, wing it over, and clear it when they're gone to work. You know what I mean? You don't just run around town with Ron's after you're done using it, I use his all the time on clearing our subs. Honestly, I don't know how many different times I had to break past just to make sure that I could get up to the switch out north, out there kind of by the dump ground, right by the state shop, because it just kept blowing in, but I needed to make sure we could get out there. This particular plow is not the same as Terry's that I'm looking at. it is a V-plow, so you can fold it, pitch it, you can do, the V part, you'll be able to break more path, like say your alleys and stuff, but you can still wing it. Now, I will say, I went with this because it is the same brand as Terry's. And so basically, if he has an issue with his or have an issue with ours, we can interchange them on pickups as well. So
Okay.
that's, I didn't spend a lot of time getting bids or anything. This is the exact same one that Terry's got, so they have it in stock. It just, I'm constantly asking to use this pickup last year, so.
We use ours at the airport a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we used that pickup too, we cleared a lot there, yep. But I mean, we had everything out there that one day, and I did a lot. You'd be surprised what you can do with them pickups. Like, I mean, you were out there with backhoe and out there with payloader, and it's still, it surprised you, but.
I wanna keep my loader and my blade, this isn't to replace them.
Actually, when you get a new one, we want your old one.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
anyway, so we do take care of it around here. We even just right out back here and around City Hall. That's what the electrical's in charge of, so be another thing that would,
What's it cost?
I believe it was,
That's at $10,747.
We get about 25% off for municipality, it looks like.
yep. Now, I did reach out. I was waiting for one to come available at Surplus that was on the exact same pickup. They use it. They don't act like they're gonna get rid of it. I had somebody tell me that basically you don't wanna buy a used one, cause then you're gonna have nothing but problems. So, better off just getting a new one and be done with it, so.
What pickup are you gonna put this on?
It'd be on the black pickup.
2,500.
Yeah, just our, it's got tools on it, but not like my workbox one. I don't wanna have stuff be
Right.
rattling all over. The other, and that one's, I mean, it's not extended cab, it's shorter, so, yeah. It's already a little rusty, so. But I kept the maintenance on it, it's got new tires on it. I mean, it should go for a long time or whatever. Honestly, a snowplow should outlast the pickup really, but you just have to do a different mount.
Okay. And the description with all the add-ons, like the blade assembly, hydraulic box assembly, mounting kit, halogen
Yep.
lights, headlamp wiring kit, handheld control.
Yeah,
The
they
module
said they
and all
got
that.
one in stock and then this is with them putting it on and everything.
Okay.
Do we have a V-plow style at all?
The one that puts on the grader.
Well, I got one for the
but
blade, and
small.
one for the loader, but they're the loader one's smaller than the one that goes on my blade.
So everything we have is almost oversized for alleys.
I use that for alleys, the V-plow. You can't use the road grader in there
No.
because with that nose, it's probably 12 feet further and I'd be 35 foot long.
Right.
But I have used it on the loader. The-
How long, is that just a quick attach? Is it? Okay.
It's not movable V-plow.
You just
No,
go
it's-
underneath
No.
and you have to get out.
Yeah, but
I
the
know,
V is
but-
fixed,
Does it go like this? and
Oh,
like
no.
this?
No.
right? And that's the other thing,
That's
you
what
can,
this one will
you can fold this
So-
like this if you wanna push everything.
Well,
out.
yeah, if you've got a box here, you can put it flat, so you just push everything away from it instead of piling it into.
Yep. Yeah, it's not as wide as Terry's. Terry's got wings that come out more for parking lots, but yeah, it's just, it's gonna be more maneuverable and usable and that. I'm looking at still being able to get to a transformer if I need to change it out, you know,
Right.
so.
And you've used Terry's in the past?
I've used Terry, I sat in that pickup a lot last year, yeah, yep.
We had a lot of snow last year.
Yeah, yep. And if that's what we gotta do, we gotta buy this thing so we don't have any snow, I'm okay with that.
That's worth the price right there, absolutely.
I hope you don't wear the paint off.
Yeah.
Yep, keep it shiny. So, yeah, I have money in the budget and the way things going, even some of the other things. Once I get past this month, typically anything that happens in December, now that I've been here long enough, usually ends up rolling in
January
next
anyway.
year's budget, and so then I don't get it spent, or I don't, which is,
Right.
so.
Okay. Any questions, additional questions for Dustin?
I see the warrant with getting it again. I don't know if it's just the budget season that's in me or not. I'm just getting tired of buying stuff. I don't know if it's going through the finance committee. That's,
Yeah, I don't, Terry,
You don't need that right away.
right, I mean, and hopefully, Terry went through them, but I don't know if you looked at her.
I got some way better ones this year before.
Okay, that's, yep.
They're very expensive, but they're out there.
What was all that, what?
Cutting edges, I said I would hold off on the cutting edges and we can do a little shopping, cause you can have cutting edges made and use carbide. And carbide are amazing what they'll do for the length of.
Their ones we wore out in like one snowstorm.
Yeah, you went through at least a couple sets last year. That's how much we were using.
Yeah.
I mean, yep.
So approve it without the upgrade cutting edge, is that what you're saying?
Well, it'll have the edges already on it, but
Okay.
before, instead of buying like extra ones.
Oh,
to
I
go
see what
with
you're
it.
saying. Okay,
When it goes to replace it, you do the carbide.
all right, gotcha. Any additional questions you may have? I think we talked about this budget time too, didn't we?
Yeah, yeah, I
Yes,
brought it up.
yes.
Yep, and
Well, I'll make a motion that we approve the bid for the snow plow,
Okay,
the V plow.
I'll second it.
okay, have a motion and a second on the table with regard to the electrical department purchasing of a snow plow. Discussions,
I guess, my thought is, I'm not real familiar with what all snow removal stuff you have now. And I see everybody's grinning at me there outside there, but,
that's fine. And-
but, I just don't wanna go home tonight and think we spent $10,000 on something.
Basically, we either have it all out or none of it.
Well,
Right, so-
and the
so
thing
for
I
me
was
and-
thinking about this too is, all right, you've got that where it's got the adjustable blades. If we get a bunch of snow at the airport and Terry needs help, somebody can jump in that and
We,
go out
we
and
do
help.
that all the time. I'm gonna say for me, my department doesn't have anything. So
That's
every
what I
time
mean.
go
This is
over
gonna
to
be
get the
for-
skid loader for right here.
Yeah,
He's usually using it on the sidewalk,
Right.
or
Sometimes we need his stuff.
he's
Sure.
already gone. And so this gives me, like what I have for snow removal is I went and bought a push behind snow blower from surplus last year and went through and kind of rebuilt it, put tubes in the tires. That's what I have.
that
But
should
we
be
bought a
plenty.
new one not very long ago, didn't we, Terry?
Yeah, we
No.
use it
And that's why
for
I'm just unsure of what everybody
Snowboarding.
has and how much,
Pre-buy snow blower.
yeah, that's just, I know for sidewalks.
So you, other than a push behind, you don't have any snow
I don't
removal
have-
equipment
my
for the department.
Doesn't have anything for.
But yet you're designated to keep this clean out
Here,
here.
Yep, the front. and
Does
whatever,
everybody- So
then-
And then just making sure I can get.
So then you have to
there.
wait until something else is not in
Yep.
use from these
And it
guys.
happened more than you, I mean, not to, but the skid loader typically will go grab it and it was usually gone. I mean,
Right.
it's just, they're out, they're working, I mean, they're doing what they're supposed to do and it just,
Well, and that's all I'm thinking is
So
if you
what
had
you-
your own, then you would be able to get your stuff done, be able to get out to the
Well, we
switch, be
usually
able to
gotta
get
have
in
it
there.
done before City Hall opens.
And I say get it done now in a timely manner instead of having to wait for something of
And
these
he's trying to
guys.
get sidewalks done on
Right,
Main Street
right.
before their business is open and.
And that's why I made a motion to approve it.
Yep, and I'm gonna, just another thing to help, so this is $10,000, it's not stuck to that pickup. I mean, that's what it's gonna go on, but down the road, if that pickup goes, that tool can go on something else. You know, it's always gonna be a city,
In use.
So everybody does have each department has your own snow removal stuff, is that what you're saying?
Kind of, not these guys, but
I just got a snow blower.
Yeah.
They do
And
not.
I got scoop
Water-
shovels.
Water and sewer takes care of the airport, and it takes us as long to do that as it does him to do the whole town.
Yeah,
Because
we were out
we
doing
don't
that,
have
so.
the big stuff like he does. We got the little stuff, it takes a long time.
We were
Oh,
out there
yeah.
all that one Saturday, and that's why I was sitting in that
You gotta
pickup.
back up like 1 mile an hour blowing snow.
And the other thing, well, actually, with that being said, so I'm not saying it always happens, but Terry's got his set up, and when we were out there, that's actually when we came on the ambulance call with that, and then we come down the alley and made it so the ambulance could come through. Brandon and I were there, I don't know.
Yeah, Ron comes a lot too, and
Yep.
they,
Yep, and he
There's
has,
days where we may be on the other end of town, for doing Main Street, for instance, the loader's tied to Main Street, cause we got usually five guys waiting to do Main Street, and if they have an outage, they can hop in there and go clean it. If it's impassable, then I'll just have to,
yeah,
that them guys may have to wait. You're gonna have them with the big snows, but in the long run, that thing will get used. I mean, there's no doubt, you'll be putting cutting edges on it, and you gotta use them to do that.
every chance, I mean, we were using his when he wasn't using it, it was,
The biggest thing, we got a reversible plow we have for our loader, for instance. We use that to plow generally the east side of town. But once you take it off and you're using other things, we were gonna, actually, I'm gonna back up. We were gonna use that to go around all these vehicles we go around. But once you take it off, you're using the loader for other things, so that's where that would come in handy, and I know Terry and
yeah.
and Brandon's went around and cleaned off some of the areas where the vehicles were.
I've dug out a lot of
Frees
secondary
up a lot
pads
of
this
tire
year.
to the loader.
I put a lot of antennas on this year just because of snow. I mean, not saying it happens like that every year, but when we were in that, yeah, your pickup would move, we'd do yours. I mean, there's a lot of them. Just
And I'm wanting to stop spending money, but the selling point was the adjustability on it. Cause there's a lot of people that are in alleys that is their access.
well, that's so when I
And
was,
with the assumption that once things get settled down, you can go and help clear out the airport. Because we don't know when we're gonna have a plane come in, it's 15-minute notice.
well, that's why I wanted the V plow, cause I did get kinda through in the ditch with his. I had it winged and I was going and it caught and kinda sent me over. So, and then of course on an alley, you don't wanna send all that over to one side all the time. And so that's why I especially want it for our department is so we can get to them transformers and not have to mess around. But
Any other questions or discussion? I do appreciate Congresswoman Lichty's question, because I think there was some hesitation with regard to making a motion, even second the motion. And it's always nice to be able to go home and know you did your due diligence with regard to the questions and where you feel good or about either way you go on a motion. I think that's important. I mean, not only to justify or just feel good about everything with regard to the business before us. So, with that, the motion is made and second for the electrical department to purchase a snowplow for $10,000. Help me out.
$747.
$747. All in favor, say aye.
Hi.
Aye.
Opposed, the same.
I oppose,
One opposed. Okay, one opposed.
cause I knew you'd get it anyway, so then that way
No,
I can
you're
feel better
okay.
about
No.
what I did.
You do you.
I did me.
yeah, no, that's,
And that's, I respect that, and yes, I do. Okay,
thank you, everybody.
you bet, thank you.
Thanks, Dustin.
Miller, on the Thai edition plat that's found on page 20. Yeah, you didn't think you were gonna go very far, did you? You went and sat down and whoa, wait a second.
You might as well pull your chair up.
Yeah, so, this is what we've been working on for future expansion for, some of the planning for the sub that we have down by the racetracks. David and his wife have graciously donated that 55, by 100 there. So that's what we're working on, getting to have that. There is actually markers out there and pins. If anybody cares to see that, you can visibly see it from the road. Basically, just to keep things going, I guess we just need your signature on this, and then I need to get, one more. Otherwise, I've got most of it taken care of, then we'll see what the future deed consists of.
Okay, any questions? Okay, I think we needed approval on that anyway, so, on page 20, you'll see the Miller South, tie addition, plat. If you look at the heading, it says in the southeast 1/4 of the southeast 1/4 of section 15, township, 112 north, range 68 west of the 5th PM in Han County.
So this is what they give us right here.
It's containing, 0.29 acres.
North of the sub that is existing, and then this right here is what we currently own. It has a Northwestern sign on it, but it is owned by the city. It is our phase shifting sub, which puts us in phase with East River. So a lot of times when we switch over, like say there's a power outage, nobody knows that we're doing anything because we literally switch back over to Northwestern and nobody knows that the lights don't even blink. So
Okay,
it happens a lot more than you know.
So does this one have anything to do with the money that we were gonna get to fund some?
So this has to do with some of that, that 10-year study and some of the phases that we're gonna do, yeah. Basically, this land will help us with that future expansion if we ever choose to.
But the money for the expansion is no more, correct? Or is that a different?
So that what we applied for is no more. There still is a chance that I don't think it's gonna be as good. So, but there is there's a chance we could get money for the next 5 years. I've been talking with a lot of people about that. It isn't nowhere near what we were hoping for.
But he did have this he did have 10,000 budgeted in 2020.
Yeah, this
for
is all,
project,
yep.
For this purchase.
Yeah, this is all pretty much all but almost taken care of.
And that's why I am more hesitant, like when we spend money on stuff, knowing that other things we were supposed to get, like that money for that is no longer. So that's gonna have to come out of your budget eventually, correct, when we do it?
Yeah, it will, and we're gonna have to do it in steps.
Smaller
And
phases.
and what I'm looking at doing right now is them poles that are really old. I'm gonna have some pole testing done to see how soon do we really need to pull the trigger, and I'll be discussing that with you later just to see, do we sit here and wait to see if we can get any free money? Or by the time you pay all these extras, is it even worth the grant money? You know, there's a lot of things that I guess I'm taking into account. That we'll have to see how it goes, but this here is something, I mean, that we have to get taken care of for the future. That's something that will have to be taken care of. For example, like that, we couldn't get in that sub at all. I don't know how many times, Ron's not here. I had to have Dave go down there and snow blow, that out because you couldn't get in there. So eventually, we'd like to put the approach here, cause this road is always open. This here was all a 6 foot, 8 foot deep, is almost as tall as a fence. But also.
It's really not a road on the south side.
It's a section line, and it's low, and wind comes out of the northwest and drifts, and so.
So do you have to do anything for that?
Just, approved.
just approved.
The plat approved.
Just approved, have the plat approved that we get the land donated to us?
Yeah, yeah, we don't really even have to approve the land being donated.
I say, cause there's no cost to us
There's
or
no
anything,
cost
it's
to
funny, it's
us.
just
on that.
approve the plat.
I move we
approve the plat.
Okay,
I'll second.
okay, motion on the table to approve the plat on track one. Discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Motion carries. Thank you, Dustin.
Yep, thank you.
You bet.
Thanks again, Dustin. You can sit down now.
On page 21, you can see the supplemental budget. This is for the ordinance 750. Be ordained by the city of Miller. That, pardon me, you okay?
Yeah, I'm just noticing that I have two different fonts in there, it's driving me crazy.
All right. I can appreciate that. That the following sum is a supplement appropriated to meet the obligation of the municipality on the, for the general fund salary for $10,000 for police, retirement $800, supplies and materials $1,000, that's for ammunition and vest, machinery and equipment, did I say $1,000 for that previous? Machinery and equipment, $1,200 for police tasers. Conference fees, $100. Lodging, $500. Meals, $150. Mileage, $350. For a total of $14,100. Is this the first reading?
Yes.
Yes. So we'll just for that.
I move to approve.
We don't
You
need
don't need that.
Or we just,
Just the first reading.
oh,
yeah.
this is
First
just the
reading.
reading,
Yeah.
okay.
Slow down, Dale.
No, that's okay, because boy, I tell you what, I've jumped all over that.
It's better to do it that way.
Yeah. Okay, first reading also ordinance number 171, 5. And this is the appropriation, ordinance on the general funds under the, unassigned funds is $197,370. I'm just gonna go right down. Taxes is, $1,566,500. License and permits, $9,650. Intergovernmental revenue is $120,300. Charges for goods and services, $44,500. Miscellaneous revenue is $70,400. Total means of finance is $2,008,720. For the governmental funds, the general government council, $47,275. Contingency, $25,000. Elections, $2,200. Attorney, $10,000. Finance, $130,055. Building, $31,525. Thank you. For a general, government of $246,055. For the public safety, police is, $472,490. Fire, $54,100. Code enforcement, $5,500. Civil defense, $1,000. For a total public safety is $533,900.
$90.
$90, thank you. $533,090.
Perfect.
Public Works, street, $663,970, that's 663,970. Airport, $32,735. Public Works is $696,705. Health and welfare is $8,000 for a total health and welfare of $8,000. Current, or culture and recreation, ballpark, $255,560. Pool, $93,160. Park, $69,950. 69950. Total, cultural and recreation is $418,670. For, conservation and development, zoning, $200. Economic development, $100,000. Promotion of the city, $6,000. For the total conservation and development of $106,200. Total 2023 appropriation is $2,008,720. Property and fiduciary funds, water fund 602. Estimated revenue $699,800. Total average $699,800. Less appropriations expenses $686,025. For the cash retained is $13,775. Back up to the top, for the governmental funds under the gross receipt taxes is $60,000. Miscellaneous revenue is $300 for a total of $60,300. Under cultural and recreation, under the gross receipt taxes pool is $10,000 for the total cultural and recreation of $10,000. Under the gross receipt tax for the conservation development, the community center is $48,000 for a total of $48,000. Total 2023 appropriation is $58,000. Cash retained is $2,300. Under the proprietary and fiduciary funds, electric fund 603, beginning unrestricted cash $241,185. Estimated revenue is $2,327,000. Total availability is $2,568,185. Less appropriation for expenses $2,568,185 for cash retained of $0. At the top again, the capital improvements under the general funds. Unassigned funds is $3,500. Intergovernmental revenue is $66,500. For a total means of finance is $70,000. Under the public works, airport $70,000 for the total public works of $70,000. Go down to the total 2023 appropriation, $70,000. Cash retained is $0. Under the proprietary and fiduciary funds, sewer fund 604. Estimated revenue is $653,300. Total available is $653,300. Less appropriation expenses is $599,225. Cash retained is $54,075. Okay, and that being the first reading. Okay, on item number 10, on page 23, you can see the contingency transfer as far as resolution 2023-8, and this is basically for the pool. I think we didn't have any days that we were closed, and it spent a little bit more than it was accessible to the community, so that's good. So, whereas insufficient appropriations was made in the 2023 adopted budget for the following departments to discharge just obligation of said appropriation, And whereas South Dakota Codified Law 9-21-6.1 provides transfer to be made by resolution of the board from the contingency appropriations established pursuant of SDCL 9-21-6.1 to other appropriations. Therefore, be it resolved that the following appropriations be transferred from the contingency budget to the department budget. And and basically for salary, for $1,200, and that's for the pool. I'd entertain a motion to approve resolution number 2023-8.
So moved.
I'll second.
Have a motion and a second on the table to approve resolution 2023-8 for the contingency fund transfer to the pool in the amount of $1,200. Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Motion carries. Okay, now, license renewal. We have 8 license renewals. Without objection, if there's any objection to any one of those, we can do them all 8 at once.
Oh, the liquor
The
license?
liquor licenses. The only thing with A. Canham LLC package off sale, that would be contingent upon receipt of the application and also the fees.
They haven't returned theirs yet, so I'm still waiting for that application to come back.
Okay? So that'll be contingency upon that, all right?
Okay.
So without objection, I'd entertain a motion to liquor license renewals for A. Canham LLC package off sale, contingent upon the receipt of addition for application and fees. K.R. Miller Kesslers package off sale. Milan Pump and Pack package off sale. Pat's Place retail on sale. Miller Rexall Drug retail on off sale wine and cider. Redneck Paradise Papa Top retail on sale and package off sale. Turtle Creek Saloon LLC retail on sale. And
Dollar General there.
Dollar General retail on off sale for wine and cider.
I'll make a motion we approve the liquor licenses.
Second.
Discussion. Have a motion on the table to approve each of the requests of the liquor license with the contingency of 1. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Motion carries. Okay, and then some unfinished business is the second reading of ordinance number 749, the budget supplement. That's on page 24. And basically, ordinance number 749, be it ordained by the city of Miller that the following sum of supplementary appropriated to meet the obligation of the municipality. Gross receipt tax, community center, $8,000 for the sales tax. Source of funding is a gross receipt sales tax for $10,000. Sales fund, sales tax earned.
We can approve that now.
I'll make a motion we approve ordinance 749.
Second.
Discussion. Hearing none, we'll go by roll call. Alderwoman Hargens.
Aye.
Alderwoman Lichty.
Aye.
Alderman Wetz.
Aye.
Alderman Hargens.
Aye.
Alderman Price.
Aye.
Alderman Jones.
Aye.
Okay, all voting in the affirmative to approve the second reading of ordinance number 749 budget supplement is declared passed.
Huh? Cowboy is a malt beverage that's done in July.
Thank you for that.
the
Good catch, though.
Yes.
You thought the other one. Made me look.
Thinking of all your local stops where you buy stuff or what?
Thank you though for that, you know,
I'll make a motion, we approve the bills.
Second.
discussion. All in favor, we have a motion on the table to approve the bills, submitted. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Motion carries.
Need to sign that, I think, yeah.
What's that?
Do I need to initial that, yeah?
Sign it.
You gonna come that
Did
way?
you sign your
I'll
vote?
make a motion, we adjourn.
You got
Have
a
a
motion in there, you gotta sign.
Motion on the table,
I make a motion, we adjourn.
Second.
discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Make sure we do, yeah.
I think
done.
everybody was done.
Yeah. Just make sure we are done.
Right, get it in order.
Good job, guys.
My eyes feel like we're done.
It was a long one.